and if you come straight out of pubs, you probably haven't played a lot of Gullywash. It's a really cool map. It's played in both Sixes and Highlander. It's actually one of my favorite maps. Do you guys know what a rollout is?
Yeah.
We have the slight idea.
Okay. So generally speaking, what you want to do is you want your soldier to run the whip and just walk out, whip the heavy, whip the medic, whip the slow classes, and just make sure they go about this way. Don't go that way. And then you go here. Then the fastest one, or the safest one rather, is going to that side through Banana. This place is called Banana. And that one is called Elbow. It's more stocky. This place is called Big Door because there's a big door. Georgie can go over some callouts in your language, but I'm going to go for the English ones because I feel like that one's going to be very difficult on me. Nice. It helps a lot. So essentially, you walk up the way up to the midpoint. This is where you end up. This is choke. You don't really want to be standing here. But you want to check this one real quick if you can. Preferably, you want someone that can just quickly move over and check this one, like your scout, to go over there real quick. Just like, yeah, nothing there. And then you want to start holding this side with your demo. Your demo's mostly going to be here. Georgie, can you Google the rollout for the demo video of it so you can show your demo?
Well, Benny has some of it.
Yeah, exactly.
He has rollouts for Soldier and Demoman, I believe, on Gullywash.
Most demos still just use the Sixes rollout, even in Highlander on this map, because it is just much faster, right? But the demo rollout is a little bit different, because you usually enter through choke, right? And the first thing you want to do is put sticks here, because there's not really a class that's going to go through here. In Highlander, that's different. There's going to be a class that's going to go through here. It's most likely they're heavy. So you want to put up about 4 stickies here, and you want to put about 4 stickies around this area. First thing you want to do on the mid, because you're going to get bumped, you're going to get contested, and you don't have 2 scouts like you do in Sixes. You have 1 scout, and that 1 scout needs to deal with a lot. Next up, what you want to do is you want to start playing forward, right? You have your sniper sitting around the big door or around here, most likely, and they can contest their choke or their big door. So you essentially all cluster up here with your medic sitting around here, not around here, because this is a death trap, this is a choke, you don't want to be in a choke. And you want to slowly start pushing this forward, depending on whether you're winning or losing. But yeah. Just chill around here for a bit. Don't hard contest into players, because staying alive is really important unless you're playing classes like NG or Spy, because then you just gotta go for picks, you gotta go for space, you gotta do something. Those classes are fun on this map. NG is really fun on this map. What else? This is called Nipple. Solly can stand on it, Demo cannot stand on it. Demo gets hard sniped when he's standing on it, and you don't want to do that. Your Solly can take space on top of it though. Nipple. Solly can also jump through here. Into the medic, into the kit. Fun stuff. And if you win the mid fight, so you just hard contested some players, you just sniper got a few picks, you just start taking space. You want your combo, generally speaking, your combo meaning demo, heavy, pyro, medic, around this area. Your heavy playing relatively passive around the corner, so he doesn't take the same spam. Your demo playing more forward into the choke, but never in the choke, because you just get hard spammed in a choke. And your medic playing more around here. Your pyro can just do whatever. You can roam, essentially. You can check for spies, check that area, just look around, just see what's up, right? Your flankers have a more difficult job, which is kind of weird. You're mostly fighting into this, but you can't really do a lot right, because the enemy team has this whole area, and you got this. This is it. Yeah, you get spammed like that. So you really don't want to be standing too aggressive in here. Just have your NG built like a mini sentry about there, and have your scout and soldier just DM it out with whatever is going to be here. But don't hard contest into this, because you're mostly responsible for holding here and not necessarily for actually getting picks. That's what your medic and your heavy and your demo and your sniper are going to do most likely. If you get space here as flank, then you can just go in and you can just take space, but you gotta call it. Just make sure that your combo classes know what's up, so they can fight into this as well. They can fight into it harder than usual, and then you can actually win a video game. Under is kind of shit. Oh, I can't open those. Leads into lobby. This whole area is called lobby. You've got upper lobby and lower lobby, or lower. This is usually called lower. And this is just called main. That's launchpad. If you want second, the next thing you really want to do is start pushing last, right? That's the objective right there. So the easiest way to do that is the very, well, kind of traditional Highlander push. You have your combo classes push through here. Your heavy jumps on this, goes down here with your pyro. And your demo goes main through here into whatever's here. You're using your demo, and you're using your scout preferably too. And you just find out what's here. In the meantime, you have your heavy standing on point, your pyro just pushing people off. People are going to be looking at your demo, not at your heavy. That's how you're going to win this game. That's Launchpad. I forget why it's called Launchpad, but it's Launchpad. This is Secret. Secret is important to check sometimes. There might be players there, there might be a heavy sitting in there. You don't want a heavy just being behind you all of a sudden. Upper right, upper left. Point. This area is called water. In one of the beta versions, there's a little water here. And this is called river for the exact same reason as why that's called water. Can you still... No, you can't. Okay. They changed that on this version. That's a shame. And this is just called upper. Does everyone understand what they're supposed to do when pushing?
Hello, Bochi.
Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Can I have a...
Go for it.
What is the spice job?
Generally speaking, you're going for big classes, right? So like heavy, medic, demo, those stuff.
Yeah.
If you can't get space on those, sniper is always a really big pick. And if you're pushing into last, usually they have a sentry sitting there or there, sometimes there. You can always uncloak through secret, because most of the time no one's checking secret, right? You see this one a lot, or this one a lot, just uncloaking through here and going for a medic that's usually sitting around this area too.
Alright.
But throughout the whole map, you're kind of roaming, and you're kind of going for big classes, preferably. But if you can't get big classes, Soli is never paying attention. Because Soli is always busy with something, right? Soli is always trying to hold his own flank, he's trying to fight two people most of the time, and he's never really winning, which is really difficult and really stressful for Soli.
Yeah.
So having a spy in there as well can give him a lot of space, and then your Soli can do a lot.
Okay.
Try and be vocal as well about things like people being in irregular positions. For example, if you are just cloaked and you walk in here and you just see their heavy sitting in secret, make sure that everyone knows there's a heavy sitting in secret. If they're heavy sitting right there, for example, or if their demo is in secret as well, just say that. Try and be vocal about that stuff.
Okay.
Sniper when you're pushing last is mostly just about hard scoping places. This is a good scope. This one is a more tricky one because there's usually a demo spamming around here. But if you just like hard scope into here and you shoot their medic if he's sitting right there or there, that's a pick. That's a big one, honestly.
Jump on the shutter door behind you in there, and just try to get a quick pick.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that one works too. I usually prefer this one because you can just do a body shot and you can just hard scope in. This one is usually tricky because they're gonna see you. Also, if anyone says body shot, that just means they're angry, and that means you've won even more than usual.
Nice.
This sideline is really good, but it gets blocked off by this, which is kind of AIDS. Why can I not shoot those? Yeah. Usually people get picks with this one though. Just like hard scope from here, start going for a body shot, and then just go for the medic because they are not paying attention to this. There's nothing here that hard contest most of the time. You're going to be solo here, which is great. Someone just needs to make sure you don't get stabbed. Preferably, well, anyone else really when they're on downtime.
Can you talk about the sticky traps, sticky spots for a team to watch out?
This one?
Yeah.
This one's like kind of obvious, right? This one I don't see very often, but it works. You can put sticks on this one as well. That one's kind of rare.
Sticky trap that way, yeah. On that wall.
That one gets too many picks, honestly. Yeah, sometimes people put traps here, but that one doesn't do anything, right? Because no one picks through main. It's a ledge. People can't see sticks until they're most of the time like right here, right? It doesn't work that well, but if people push through water, you're gonna get picks with this. At least it's gonna do damage. As NG teleporters, you don't really use teleporters that much. Like if you're pushing last, that means you spawn from here. So entrance right there, but usually exit like right there or there. You don't want to push it up too far because most of the time you don't want to be sitting in a lobby, right? This is an enclosed space, and it's not preferable if you're sitting here. You don't really want to be sitting here. It kind of sucks. As a team as a whole, not just as NG, you don't really want to be sitting here most of the time. If you have Uber, you want to get into lobby and then you want to start taking space. Pushing NG, kind of tricky, really. Like you can just poke through main, right? And you can just start focusing damage on people, or you can just go like here and start damaging the heavy or whatever class is here that's big, right? You can also just put down a mini here and start wrangling kits. Works great. Try and not peek the same entrance as too many other classes. Especially as NG, people are not paying that much attention to you, and you still have a shotgun. You do 80 damage on the body shot. It's massive damage, honestly. But don't peek at the same spots where your combo is, because one, you're going to be taking flashes, which you don't want, because like as NG, you have kind of fairly high base health, right? And you're not a good Uber target because you're not fast. You don't do a lot of damage, and you have utility, but not in fights. So it's kind of tricky. So just peek through here or through here. Like you can just check for sticks through this window, but you can't check those sticks unless you hard peek it. So I'll just peek like this, and no sticks. Yeah. Oh. Am I missing any classes for last pushing? I feel like I'm not. Solly roams. Solly can jump with the combos. Solly can go through launch pad. Solly can go through under. It doesn't matter too much if you jump. You have a lot of options. Now I'm just gonna go for holding points because open team, I'm gonna be holding points a lot. I'm gonna start with holding last, and I'm just gonna go all my way to their second. If anyone has any questions, just say it, by the way. Holding. Sorry.
Everything's fine.
Holding last is fairly easy, right? Because holding last essentially, if you equal Ubers, as Georgie talked about Uber exchanges, Uber percentages, add, disadd. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping track of Uber is shit, right? It's kind of stressful. Someone has to make sure that, well, you're add or disadd. If you can't keep track of that, just assume you disadd. Okay, go for it, Georgie.
Go for it, champ.
So what you want to do on last, generally speaking, is you want to get sticks there, 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 if you have the time for it. If you don't have the time for it, you put sticks there, and you put sticks here. Main, not as important. Yeah, sniper's gonna peek it. Yeah, you gotta keep that in mind. But kind of sucks. You can't really do much about it. You want your heavy playing a bit further back, so he can make sure that your medic doesn't die when anyone jumps through launchpad or through river. You can, as NG, you can put a level 3 up if you have time. If you don't have time, use a mini. That one works, that one works, that one works, that one kinda works, but keep in mind this one does no cover point, right? It's kind of shit, but like it doesn't cover the whole point, and that's really what you're trying to do. Yeah, you can, but I wouldn't advise it. Like, it doesn't get that many people, right? Most of the time, teams use about here, so you get a pick with these, but I hate this. But you don't get anyone else. So, like, you can get the demo or the heavy or whatever class is fastest in, but preferably don't. Because throughout the next fight, you want to be using your sticks most of the time. So you just put the traps that are going to be used early and not late. As Sully, you can relatively safely stay around this area. You can hard peek this sometimes, but make sure that there's not a demo that's going to hard contest you, and really don't fight into a demo when you're on low ground, because you're never going to win those. If you win those, then congratulations, go to Prem. Sniper, you can play back on the left or right side, or on the point. That's entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell snipers how to play sniper. I feel like they know better than I do. There's default sidelines, right? That one. Keep those in mind. That one is less common, and someone else should be checking that, which is mostly going to be fast class, like Scout, that can just hard peek into here and just check stuff. And in the meantime, your heavy can do follow-up damage for that side, but really, otherwise, you want to be staying back, and you want to make sure they come into you, use first, and then you use into them. That's a big part of holding last. You're going to make sure they use first. Otherwise, you're going to be uber this side throughout the rest of the fight, and you're going to have a really shit time. Am I missing classes? Yeah, I'm missing Spy. As Spy, you can relatively safely peek around here, right? Because you're usually invisible, or you have a dead ringer, so you're not dying anyway. So really, you want to make sure whether your enemy team is going river,
yeah,
or whether they're going through launchpad or through shutter, whatever they're gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Keep those calls concise. It's really important that you keep those calls chill, because like you can say 17 times that someone's going here. Yeah, but we know the first time. Soldier can go for a force, but generally speaking, one, you're not getting it, right? And that's the big one. And Soldier is a big core class. Soldier does a lot of damage. So really, in a situation like that, if your Spy is in position to do something, then you can follow up on that. But if you're going in by yourself, don't. Try and stay alive. It's important. It's better to hold last with 9 classes than with 8.
Okay.
A Scout never. You want to hold last. You want to stick last. Because you're going to be capping, or you're going to be taking space right after an exchange, and that's important. Special loadouts for this map.
Yeah, that's my favorite, dude.
Demo just uses stock everything. Demo rarely changes from stock everything. Like, yeah, you can use funny melee weapon like Pan, but don't care. It's I'm one of those retards that uses a quickie bomb launcher. I would advise against that. Iron Bomber's good. Yeah, Iron Bomber's a straight upgrade. Good point. As Scout, I would just use stock everything, but I see some Scouts run Cleaver combo. Cleaver combo is Cleaver Rap Assassin nowadays. It's not Cleaver Sandman. That's not a combo anymore. Kinda weird. As Sully, I would just run Gunbolts. And besides that, you can run any rocket launcher you like. I would advise against Liberty Launcher because it's straight up not very good. But if you want to run a black box because you feel like sustain is more important than having 4 rockets, then absolutely go for black box. I like running black box. I feel like it's a very viable weapon on every single map. As Pyro, I would just run mostly stock. Your flamethrower does significantly more damage than a degreaser ever will, and you also have less ammo with a degreaser, so it's like, I wouldn't. But I'm a Pyro main, and I don't have that much experience playing Pyro myself. I would run Detonator as secondary, because it's just a really good weapon. You can harass people very well. Just gotta keep in mind that you're not doing that much damage, and sometimes much more important to check for spies and protect your combo than it is to do 6 damage to the enemy sniper. I would never run flare gun. Yeah, I know, it's combo power, but combo power is dead. And that makes me sad too. As heavy. Oh boy. That's me, would run stock minigun. Some people say Tomislav is better. I am not gonna go into that argument. You run a sandwich, and you run gloves of running urgently, because otherwise you're not getting to mid. But if you want to use the brass piece, or if you don't use the whole long heater, but if you want to run the brass beast or the Tomislav, then you can go for that as well. They're both viable. Brass beast requires a lot more thinking about what you're doing, though. Your ref ups are very shit.
You should just stay on the point as a brass beast heavy.
Yeah, you're essentially just a sentry. Just make your NG hit you. As NG for most of the map, I would just run mini sentries, Wrangler, and shotgun or panic attack. That is up to you. If you feel like your aim is garbage, or if you feel like it's just not your strong suit, then go for panic attack. It is more reliable. It is significantly more reliable across the short and medium range. Across the mid-long range, it's worse, but that also depends on how well you aim. When you're defending points, I'll go for that in a second, Jordy. Fuck. Yeah, always use Wrangler. Wrangler is straight up your best tool. It is insanely broken. It's nuts. It's fucking nuts how broken it is. It's gonna get banned this season, but not this season. So you use it because it's absolutely retarded. Sniper, don't run Razorback. No, ever. It's not worth it. It's gonna teach you bad habits. This is one of your first seasons playing Sniper and Open, I hope. Don't run Razorback. It teaches you the habit that you can hard overextend whenever there's a spy looking around for you. That is a bad habit you want to break. It's something all snipers have issues with, and it doesn't matter how good you are, because it's gonna fuck you over at some point whenever you meet anyone that is slightly better than you. Because all of a sudden you can't get buffed, right? You can't hard contest into a sniper. What you gotta know as sniper is you can disrespect the shit out of people as long as you have a full buff. Always keep that in mind. You can always hard peek sidelines if you're buffed. As a spy, I would run... Georgie, what would I run as spy? I was actually gonna say l'étranger and what's it called? Funny knife. No, big earner. If you're funny trick stab man, then you go for big earner, and if you're not funny tricks, it's red tape recorder's banned. There's issues with it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I like it too. Big earner is funny trick stab knife, and because of the speed rules, people don't expect you to be this fast. You're gonna get chain stabs. The only problem is you're gonna get one shot by a rocket. Yeah. So, do you want to be like Swipes? Then use the big earner. Do you want to be good at video games? Then you don't use the big earner.
Yeah.
And as medic, run the crossbow. And whatever medi gun your main caller tells you to. If your main caller says vaccinator, you run vaccinator. I'm not the one person that's going to deny anyone for running vaccinator. Vaccinator is really funny, and it's going to get you very far this season. But I would probably not do that. Stock is the safe choice. Vaccinator is the choice that might win you this season. They're both kind of good, honestly. It's up to your main caller, right? It's an active decision, and it's something you got to think about. If you're hard disad, or if you're losing fights, or if you only have 20 seconds left, you switch the vaccinator or quick fix, because you're going to build faster. You're going to heal more people. Vaccinator, you're probably not going to heal more people, but with quick fix, you're going to heal everyone, which is great because this guarantees uptime. On Gullywash last, don't run vaccinator or quick fix because you need buffs. Buffs are important. 50% HP, that's massive. Heavy with 450 HP is going to tank 8 stickies. If he's smart about it. If he's like not trying to take the full brunt of them, because then you're probably going to take about 5. But yeah, crossbow is important. Crossbow is seriously important. Most important tool you have. There's literally no other viable choice. For your melee weapon, yeah, pretty much everyone uses the oversaw, but like you don't want to use your melee weapon. Like that may sound silly, like the situation, like, but if you get into the situation where you need to use it, no. There's not a situation where you need to use a melee weapon. If you need to use a melee weapon, you deserve to die. And I'm sorry for saying that, but I see too many medic mains just walking up to a spy because he's behind their heavy and it's like, yeah, I gotta contest this because this is my job now. I need to go for the fucking triple stab on this spy, right? No. Please don't ever do that. There is not a situation where you want solemn vows banned. But you don't really want to go for things like that. You don't want to get into melee range of a spy because if, like, the worst thing happens, which is that he just fucking lags and phases through you, he's gonna get a trick stab and he's gonna get a 9k. You don't want that, so don't do that stuff. Who is he? Just say it.
I believe he's the sub-scout.
Yeah, well, he doesn't understand English. I would like nothing against him. Anyway, yeah, sentry spots on last. Sentry spots on last are like fairly easy, right? You want to cover the point. Point's important, right? Objective to the video game. This one's good. That one kind of works. This one's really good. This one is actually the best one. And the simple reason that this one's the best one is it's open, and people are not necessarily going to call this one out, but people can't see it either until they're on the point, right? So their demo is just going to like push in through here most of the time, and he's going to be here, and then he's going to notice, oh, holy fucking shit, there's a level 3 just looking at me right now. What am I? No, you're not going to do anything. You're dead. Level 3 sentry. There's a lot of damage. Minis are a different story. Minis can be placed more aggressively or around your medic. Good thing about a mini is it completely counters scalp. It does a lot of damage. It does a lot more damage than you think it does. You can put those here, here, sometimes here, sometimes here. You can use this level 3 spot as well. It's up to you. Minis have not that much. They're not as. How do I say? You can trade hits with them, but always use a Wrangler because Wrangler's nuts. Holding second. Yeah, holding second. So Georgie mentioned something about add and disadd. This is where it really comes into play. If you're add or equal, meaning within about 5 to 10% of the other enemies over, you can hold a choke clause. You hold this with your demo. Your heavy stays around the corner again. And you essentially, as heavy, wait for picks to come in. In this demo, you just exchange spam so they don't walk into you. It's important, though, that you don't use all your ammo here, because if they decide to hard contest you, you want to be able to fight that. As medic, you want to play around here. You want to play further back. You want to be able to heal people, but you don't want to be taking spam. As NG, you put a dispenser here. Preferably, if you can. Heavy demo medic needs it more. And your Sully has 24 rockets to exchange, or 23 if he's running black box. With whatever comes over here, and in the worst case scenario, you can just go back and get the kit. Pyro can hold around this area, but really doesn't need to. Generally speaking, you have your heavy just looking around here, just checking like, yeah, no spies, no spies, yeah. Stuff's fine. And your demo's busy. Which means your medic can also just like look around him. Like, you just point beam at the demo and then you just look behind you like, yeah, there's nothing going on. Scald, NG, Sully, stick around this area. Your sniper can rotate. Your sniper can play in the choke and just like hard peek this every time your demo does a little spam, and then just like peek this really far back. This sideline's really good. And then whenever their demo peeks, you shoot them. But you can do the same thing here. You can do the same thing against their Sully, against their Scout, against their NG. Those are all one-shot body shot targets, right? Yeah, Sully isn't, but Sully's always going to be taking spam in this exchange, so he's still a one-pick target. As Spy, up to you. Same thing. This is a very small rotate. It takes very little time to go for like a pick here. You just uncloak in this corner when their Sully is standing right there. You just stab him. Same goes for the NG, same goes for the Scout. But Scout's fast, right? That one is a long rotate, and there's mostly going to be a pyro there. It's going to be a more difficult stab, but it's going to be a more interesting pick. So, risk-reward kind of thing. Am I missing class? No, I'm not missing classes. Cool. When you're disadd, your demo can hold there, but it needs to do it more passively, more around here. So you're still in this range, because you want your medic to be able to hold up here. You can beam your demo, you can beam your heavy that's going to be standing right there most of the time. He's just watching for bombers, he's just watching for spies and stuff. And in the meantime, you're just making sure your demo stays alive. They're going to use in here. So really, as demo, you want to be ready to jump out. It's really important. You got to be above 80 health to jump. Because you're going to be taking full damage if you fuck up this jump somehow, then you really don't want to be 6 health. As flankers, you do what you're usually doing. Because you're fast classes, and if your NG dies, it fucking sucks, but it doesn't matter. If your Scout dies, then he's kind of stupid because you could have just walked out. Holding mid. Holding mid is also kind of easy, and you have kind of the same situation, except now it's just on the other side, right? Heavy there, demo here, medic there, and around the flankers, it's the same stuff. You have your Sully, your Scalp, your NG, and they're playing relatively back. And holding their second is kind of similar, though you're really changing up one thing. Which is that big door you don't want to hold as flank. You don't really hold this as anything. You want to have your Scout and your Sully up here most of the time, so they can hard contest this side if there's anything going on. And you want to have the rest of your combo playing around this. So whenever they get contested, they can see stuff, but they can exit too. This is a big, nice area that you can just leave out of because no one can hard spam you. When you have Uber, you want to be playing around here. You want to have your medic sitting around here, never here. Because that is not just in one side land, but it's also massively outspammable through that side, that side, that side, that side, that side. Don't want to stand there. This side can get contested for there. That's it. And you want to be pushing this as fast as possible. So you stay here for just a few seconds above everyone, and then you want to go river. I feel that's about it for Gullywash.
That's a lot to take in, honestly. Yeah.
You can always rewatch the recording if Georgie uploads it. If you have any questions, you can send me a DM on Discord too.
Can I add you on Steam, maybe?
Go for it.
Steam
I
is
can
available.
answer all the questions. I have played this game a lot more than I'm willing to admit.
That's alright.
And yeah, also you're gonna be losing matches. That's an important one. This is not necessarily about this map, but just in general. Don't get discouraged if you lose matches. I am not one to talk about that because I am a very, very angry person and I'm very well known for that. But this is going to be one of your first seasons, so absolutely don't get discouraged if you lose games. That's going to happen. That's going to happen to any team. It's about improving. It's a learning experience. And don't make it all about winning. It's a video game. It's very important.
It's always a video.
It's about
Georgie.
fun.
Georgie. Oroszba. A 6-os, az milyen betű? Van egy ilyen 6-osnak kinéző karakter, az milyen betű?
És az
B.
hogy jön ide?
Hát olyan, mint egy 6-os.
Ez hogy jön ide?
Semmi, csak Georgie tudod rosszul, azért kérdezem.
Jó van, már fatarom minden. Ennyi. Én nyertem.
B. A B az egy N betű. A D az meg egy B betű. Nem tudom.
1 second. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, shit.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
I would advise against joining any team. You're gonna get killed by the tank most likely.
George, részre megértem, hogy mire gondol. Neked írtam meg. Sima chatbe.
Mi kell? Mi a fasz?
Már rájöttem azóta, mit kell.
Nice. Oh, elég de...
Nice.
That's really small. Like my tip.
That's what she said.
Actually, they kind of should.
There's no overkill. Nice ragdoll.
Oh no, I'll do it, no worries.
Nekem most mennem kell.
Hello, hello.
Hello.